I'll start off by citing from the UN Declaration of Human Rights, Article 18. I quote, "Everyone has a right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. This right includes freedom to change his religion or belief, and freedom either alone or in community with others." Compare that with the words of Muhammad. "Whoever changes his Islamic religion, kill him." Muhammad's words reflect the consensus of classical Islamic literature and the majoritarian view among Muslims today, as demonstrated by the widespread implementation of the death penalty and criminalization of apostasy. Too often, we avoid the crux of the issue, that is, aspects of pre-modern religions taken verbatim are incompatible with the modern consensus of human rights. A human rights consensus that even many deeply devout religious individuals across religions agree with. To cite the most stark example, human slavery is condoned by all major faiths, but looked upon as a horrific abomination by nearly all individuals alive today. To quote Dr. Tessia Ali, a professor of religion at Boston University and a convert to Islam, "It is one thing for committed religious thinkers to insist that scripture must always and everywhere apply literally, but it is ludicrous for objective scholars to do so. Anyone making the argument about biblical slavery would be ridiculed." According to a 2013 Pew survey, 64% of those in Pakistan and 63% of those in Egypt and majorities in many other Muslim countries support the death penalty for apostasy. Again, that's 64% in Pakistan, 63% in Egypt. This panel's topic is about the human dignity of apostates. I do not believe that human dignity we desire is possible until Muslims honestly grapple with the complexity of their faith and the discordance between universal human rights principles and their desire to uphold Muhammad's words. International pressure can only yield action to the extent local sentiments will allow. After a decade of imprisonment and intense international efforts, when Asia Bibi, a Christian victim of blasphemy laws in Pakistan, was finally released, there were widespread protests across the nation, with millions participating. Soon after, Professor Khalid Hamid was killed by his own student on an accusation of blasphemy. The student cited the release of Asia Bibi and proudly stated that if the government will not act, Muslims will defend their faith themselves. In such an environment, how do we proceed? According to the same Pew survey, only 14% of Pakistani Muslims believe there can be multiple interpretations of religious law. But according to another Pew survey from 2017, 52% of American Muslims believe that traditional understandings of Islam need to be reinterpreted. I believe that the most potent path forward is to recruit these liberal Muslims who are already converts to the modern human rights consensus. You may ask, why is it that we don't see these Western Muslims speaking out against the intolerance enshrined in the laws of Muslim countries and the horrors committed in the name of their faith? We sent a team to conduct interviews at the largest US gathering of Muslims, and the vast majority of Muslims we spoke to supported the human rights of those that left Islam and were incredulous at the abuses committed in support of their religion. One Egyptian American woman stated that the issue wasn't her cross to bear. She was an American where freedom of religion is enshrined, and that, I quote, "Coptics live freely within her country." She was referring to Egypt. Upon learning of the treatment of apostates, she admitted to being ignorant of the actual state of affairs. The same ignorance was demonstrated repeatedly by those we spoke with. Unfortunately, we often participate in the erasure of the facts, the erasure of history, and the erasure of a millennia-long struggle against religious oppression, in service of viewing Islam through a gentle lens that is centered around Western politics. By not making the link between religious literalism, Orthodox Islam, and our suffering explicit, we grant Muslims that must be standing beside us a license to turn away and to maintain a comfortable cognitive dissonance. It is not our responsibility to ease their burden, but force them to contend with the complexity of their religion and stand up for universal human rights that they actually do agree with. Thank you.